At Wolf-PAC, we're trying to pass an amendment to clean up politics, to get free and fair elections back in America, where anybody can run. You don't have to be a millionaire or a billionaire or sell out to those guys. Now, we have a lot of supporters throughout the country. We've already passed it in 4 different states, and we're very close in Connecticut. Now, as we were doing our campaign in Connecticut, which we still are, and join us at wolf-pac.com, be a volunteer, be a member, and help out, we got some unexpected allies. And that's what happens. If you start a movement, you'd be surprised how many people join you. Even we're surprised. But we shouldn't be. I've told you many times, 96% of Americans believe that money has a corrupting influence in politics. Over 80% of America say that it's basically legalized bribery, and corruption has taken complete hold of Washington, including 83% of Republicans. So this is a bipartisan issue in a lot of ways. Now, in Connecticut, there are, of course, a lot of Democrats who are on our side, but we didn't know that Terry Backer was. So Terry Backer is a longtime state lawmaker. He's a representative in Connecticut. He was a Long Island Sound fisherman, and his father was a fisherman before him, and they used to fish for lobster and shellfish. So you might have even eaten some products they caught if you lived in the area. And a real backer and lover of his state, and that's why he was in politics for a long time. He was the chairman of the Environment Committee and the Energy and Technology Committee for a long time. He was fighting brain cancer for the last couple of years, but he'd show up to work anyway, and he'd give speeches about issues that he was passionate about. Now, we at Wolf-PAC didn't know that Terry Backer was passionate about our same issue, free and fair elections. But turns out that was the very last speech that he gave in the Connecticut House, and I wanted to share it with you. Look, we've had a lot of dramatic moments as we're fighting for this amendment to clean up Washington. We had a supporter named Perry in Arkansas who was passing away, and his last wish to his friends was to support Wolf-PAC, not because of that particular organization, but because of the goal, which is we've got to get that 28th Amendment. Every generation has passed an amendment to the Constitution except ours. It's doable. Together we can do it, and apparently Terry Backer thought that as well. Now, unfortunately, he just passed away on December 14th, and May was the last time he was able to go in, and this was the very last speech he gave on the floor of the Connecticut legislature. Let's watch Terry Backer.
In Citizens United, the piece of it that galls me the most is where corporations become relevant and equal to all of you in here. They are deemed persons. Persons, not natural-born people who live and die, but corporations that can live ad infinitum, for all I know, and which are actually constructs of naturally born people, created on paper to organize a company, incorporate it in a fashion, and lay down some rules of behavior and trade for them. Yet they are considered a person, and that galled me. You are natural-born people. And indulge me once again for my faith, everyone you have in the past. You are creations of God, and a corporation is a creation of man. And I don't believe it's endowed with the rights that humans are endowed with, and that's why I will vote for this.
So obviously, as you can tell, he was a faithful man, and he's saying the most obvious thing in the world. Isn't it crazy that in Washington, they refuse to acknowledge what all the rest of us know? They say that corporations are human beings, that by law they are people. How insane is that? And here's Terry Backer saying, of course they're not people. People live, people die, people have real human connections and emotions and feelings and rights. Corporations do not have those same natural rights. They're not endowed by their creator with any rights. The rights that they have, and they have rights, are given to them by us, by human beings. They are a legal fiction. We created them. Now they've run amok and they have human rights according to the U.S. Supreme Court and Washington, D.C. And on top of that, they have extra rights where they have limited liability, can't be sued. We've created these machines and they run away with our government. It's time to get that government back. Look, I say this often about legislators, state legislators throughout the country fighting for free and fair elections. I really believe that they are a new generation of founding fathers, because our original founding fathers gave us our democracy a long time ago. And then somewhere along this process, we lost it. Remember Benjamin Franklin's famous quote. A woman comes up to him after they're done with the Constitutional Convention and he says, what do we have? And he says, a republic if you can keep it. And we weren't able to keep it. We lost it starting in 1976 and 1978 when the Supreme Court said corporations as people have freedom of speech rights and speech equals money, so they can pour unlimited money into politicians' pockets and in essence buy them. They legalize bribery. Now Citizens United put that on steroids, but that unfortunately started all the way back in 1978 with the Buckley v. Vallejo decision. So that's why when Princeton does a study of over 20 years of policy, it turns out that public opinion has no effect on the laws that are passed. That's not a democracy. They killed it in the middle of the night, and most people didn't notice. Now, we're angry about it. We notice now. That's why 96% of Americans are on our side, and they want to go back to free and fair elections. But the media never told you about it. Why did the media never tell you about it? Because they're the beneficiary of the corruption. All that money poured into politicians and to super PACs get turned into TV ads. And those TV ads go to the television stations. So people like Terry Backer are saying, we got to get that government back. We got to get that democracy back. The way you do it is this amendment. And if you join us at wolf-pac.com, any way you can, volunteer, be one of our warriors, fight for us. Fight together, and together we win. We've already won in 4 states. We're going to win in Connecticut, and we're going to win in enough states to get a convention so we can get that amendment without Washington. Washington's never going to do it. It is completely corrupted. The virus has taken over the body politic in Washington. We got to do it at the state level. Republicans can agree to that. Democrats can agree to that. We got to work together on this. So don't forget Terry Backer's words. And I think that, I know I'm goofy, I quote movies, and one of my favorite quotes is from Gladiator, but I think it's true. And he says in the movie, as you know, Maximus does, what we do in life echoes in eternity. And in Representative Backer's case, I think it's really true. He was part of that fight. We're going to win that fight. We're going to get that amendment. And then people like Terry Backer, their hard work that they put their lives into is going to pay off. And his last vote is going to pay off. And his last speech is going to pay off. And the work of these new founding fathers, these state legislators, to get our democracy back is going to echo in eternity. The Constitution is supposed to be amended. That's what the founding fathers said. They provided the amendments so that we can have a more perfect union as we go forward. And the first 10 amendments were the Bill of Rights, including the First Amendment and all of those cherished amendments that are the core of American values. That's how we build this nation together. Help Terry Backer, help us. Let's go forward and let's get that amendment. Be part of that winning team. Make the change. Be the change that you know we can have in this country. Wolf-PAC.com. Do it today.